Ghost Simulator's Halloween event is here, and with it, it brought a whole new tower mechanic that a lot of people can struggle with. So in this video, I'll be going over how you can beat the tower 100% of the time and get the most rewards out of this event as possible. Now, the first thing that you need to do for any event in any game really is figure out how much you care about certain stuff in this event. For instance, if you care very little about the event, you may want to consider only doing the necessary quests of Ghost Hunter Bow and Ghost Hunter Luna, which are currently here, and then only spending whatever spare candy you have left, getting just a few random stuff here and there from the event. Now, if you want to get more, you can also consider just going for like everything from the candy shop, everything like the first 3 crates from here, up to getting everything from the event multiple times. This is really important since you really don't want to be going grinding for something, then realize halfway through or after doing it all that you really didn't want anything that's ended up wasting your time. From here on out, I'm going to be assuming that you have chosen to go grind the tower for all the resources you want from this event. And to do so, the first thing you have to realize is that doing a tower actually is quite rewarding compared to most other events. Being able to, as a free-to-play player, grind as many as a key every 5 minutes, which is much faster than most other events. Another thing to note about this event is that you will be able to group up with players to do it slightly faster for more keys, but you can also go single for more candy if you care about getting tons of those too. Now, the first thing is, when you're going through floors, is you have the option to go use gum on each floors. You can either use loot gum or vac gum to speed up the process. I prefer loot gum since it does give me more candies, but I also have double items and get a lot more from using my loot gum than someone that doesn't have that game. Now, as you see me, as I'm going through this dungeon, I'm not really worrying about using my hoverboard much, since you are able to outspeed pellets on without using your hoverboard. Even without the double agility game pass, you can just go walk around and click on them and pause every once in a while and just move it on. If you are using vac gum though, you can go equip your hoverboard and zoom through faster if you want to, but if you are using loot gum, you can just walk around. Now, this is one of the things that many people don't really think. They think that they have to be constantly moving at a fast speed. You don't really need to be moving that fast. You just need to keep moving a little bit away from each of the ghosts. Now, as you saw there, I kind of had to go retrack. Backtracking is not good during the tower, and you're much better off if you do have to backtrack to go jump over a little bit, since it will prevent some pellets from hitting. Now, another really helpful thing to have during these towers is actually a lot of the perks that you get from completing the game. So if you are coming into the event fresh or after a rebirth, you may want to consider, instead of doing the event right now, going up and grinding specific stuff like the additional streams from Captain Finsley, Magnet, of course, from there, and also Leo's heavy armor, so that you don't get hit around by ghosts as much. Now, since those things take some time to go do, it's actually much better for you to actually have planned on that beforehand and go do it before the event starts. But if you haven't yet, you can always still go back and do them, since playing the game at any point won't hurt too much in the... Now, on every 3rd floor so far, there is a boss, and to deal with these bosses, it is actually quite simple once you memorize the patterns, since you just really need to pay attention. Now, to do bosses, it is also quite helpful to have unlock the turbocharge ability from Captain Hunter Yoko, which is not Captain Hunter, but Ghost Hunter Yoko, and can be very helpful in being able to dodge some of the attacks. One of the things is that you really want to do is make sure that you are near the boss when the shield starts getting down towards the bottom. I like to just chill near it the whole time, but that isn't strictly necessary, since just staying near right at the end can help. Since when he falls, you want to be vacuuming as quick as possible so you don't miss a shield cycle, since at 67% and 34%, the boss's shield repops and it no matter what, and you just need to be there to make sure you don't miss the cycle, so you're doing it as fast as possible. Now, when it comes to some specific attacks, Frankie has only one annoying attack that many people don't like, and that's the laser from his chest. But as you can see, as you've probably seen, you can actually pretty easily avoid that by also just staying close to him, as he isn't able to hit you if you stay close enough to strafe. Now, the second boss in this tower is the Headless Hollow from Halloween 2019. Now, this boss has one really annoying attack. That's the one that I've seen the most people complain about any attack in Ghost Simulator. Now, this attack, of course, is going to be the tractor beam from its hand, which will grab you and do 35% damage. Now this attack is both very hard to avoid and does a huge amount of damage, so a lot of people can get really annoyed about it. Now this attack is actually possible to dodge if you know how. The best way to dodge it is to actually be a decent ways away and get off your hoverboard. Now unfortunately this doesn't work 100% of the time, and sometimes when it doesn't work it actually has to do with your avatar. As you can see, my avatar is normally structured, and if you go look at my robot using the older model, which is the squares, and just using the standard dimension, if you guys are having trouble, you may be able to switch those around to more normal dimensions and be able to actually avoid this attack. Although really there is no real way to know exactly what causes this attack to hit some and not hit others when they're off the board. The big thing is to test it out and figure out what works to dodge this attack. One of the last small things from this event that can be quite annoying is actually encountering bat ghosts during the tower. As you probably saw during that, you can have a little bit of trouble clicking on them sometimes, as it's not always clear exactly where their hitbox is, especially when you're going through the tower at a fast pace. You may end up missing their hitbox quite a bit of the time. One of the things that I've found that's really helpful is just to aim for the wings. Since everywhere along their wings is clickable, it's a pretty easy spot to guarantee that you click on them. Now, as I mentioned earlier, it is possible to go into public servers, and I'd actually recommend this if you're struggling with the bosses or having trouble clearing out all the ghosts in a timely manner, since going in with other people will just have other people for the boss to attack, and also allow some other people to go to the different ways down the maze-like areas of the different floors. The one thing with this is you will get slightly less candy rewards, but I don't think many people will be missing those, and also since other people will be there, it'll be a little bit slower if they aren't shooting or aren't shooting consistently as you'd like. But otherwise, it's actually a pretty good way to go grind keys faster if you are interested in that. But one of the last things that you may want to consider doing is before going and unboxing the pet crates over here, is go and convert a bit of your candy into gum, specifically looking for like 1 or 2 glitchy or ghostly lucky gum, since getting a few of those would actually help speed up the process. It would actually pay off if you're able to get it in less than 1,000 gum conversion, since it really does take around 240 to 250 crates on average for a godly here. If you cut that number in half, it's going to be well worth the additional candy spent to cut that candy cost. And that is all the tips and tricks I have for this video. If you guys like these tips or have other tips of your own for this event, feel free to share them in the comments. And with that, hopefully you guys have a good time grinding this event, and I will see you guys in my next video.